Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today I'm going to show you some meals that I have been putting together for emergency purposes. So I've seen this video done before. I've actually had a subscriber on here suggest that I do my meals like this, and I do have a few, but I am very inspired by other preppers on YouTube and wherever I may find them. So I always love the tips and tricks. Don't stop putting those down in the comment box. I absolutely love the conversation. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Tori. We make videos 3 to 4 times a week all about prepared life here in Northern Colorado. We try and do this on a budget. I'm a mother of almost 3, newly stay-at-home mom and wife, and we just enjoy being prepared for emergencies. And we always try and have a sensible, positive approach, and I think it goes a long way. So if you like that kind of thing, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'm going to get you turned around and I'm going to show you some meals in a bag is what people call them, but I am actually going to be using these postpartum. So of course they can work for emergency, but I am going to be having my baby here in the next few weeks, and I want a few shelf-stable meals that my husband or I can just pull out, read the instructions, and go ahead and get them in the oven so we can feed our family. I will leave all of the recipes down in the description box, and let's get right into this video. Alrighty, I have everything lined up for you. I ended up coming up with 8 different meals, and I have them in some freezer bags here. I'm just going to keep them in a tote in our pantry so my husband could easily grab and go from them. My next step is just to write down each of the ingredients, how much of the ingredient, and how to cook it. Essentially, it's very simple. I don't really plan on doing measurements just because I want to make it easy on him. So I really think that I will be doing majority of the cooking, so I'm not too worried. But in the event of an emergency situation, as opposed to postpartum, which, you know, I mean, it depends how we're going to use these. I'm not sure yet because I've prepared the freezer for postpartum as well. So these could be easily put into a bug out bag. We have a few of these in the bug out bags, or they could be put into the prepper pantry for grab and go meals like I was talking about last week when we lost our power. So yes, I have about 8 here. Please keep an open mind with some of these ingredients. Some of them aren't the best for you. You really have to watch your sodium on these, your protein, and other variables. But this is what I have come up with for at least this month, and it will be plenty of food. So I'm really excited. Here we go. I'm just going to go over what's in each bag, and again, I will put that in the description box for you. But this one is going to be a quinoa enchilada casserole. So what we have in this bag is some enchilada sauce. We have a bag of quinoa, and you can use the whole 1-pound bag with this. You're going to need some pinto beans. Of course, you will need some water probably for some of these meals, and I will write that on the bag as well as the description box. You're going to add a spring vegetable recipe soup mix. A lot of people can't find these. If you can't, just do an onion soup mix. You just needs that salty flavor. And the strange part of this bag, you could do canned chicken, but I like canned salmon. I've made this before, and it just is a unique take on things. I've had fish enchiladas at a restaurant once, and ever since then, I combine it with green chili sauce all the time, and it's really tasty. So all of that will go into a container, and then you can bake it. You can cook it on cast iron. You can really do a lot with this. So yes, that is recipe number 1. I am just on a roll with my fish items. Again, you can sub out tuna for chicken or canned beef, whatever you want, or just honestly beans at this point. But it is going to be this salsa gnocchi. I've made this before, super tasty. I get these potato gnocchis at the Dollar Tree. It's the cheapest I found unless Kroger has a sale and they go under $1. So this is shelf-stable gnocchi. I'm going to do a mild salsa. I'm going to do some refried beans, and you mix that with the gnocchi when it's heating up, and it just makes it creamier and just a little bit more dense. Honestly, I know know potatoes are pretty dense. The gnocchi is pretty dense as is. And then what you do is put the tuna on top with the salsa. You could add cheese if you have it, but this is really all you're going to need for this meal. I actually made this camping a while back and my husband loved it. So very simple, 4 ingredients and very delicious. Next on the list is going to be this tomato chicken chili is what I like to call it, but it features this tomato pasta soup mix from Walmart, and these are 33 cents. Sometimes they're 43 cents. It depends what Walmart you go to, but I find this in my Hispanic foods aisle, and you're going to need 2 of those, and that will be plenty for 4 people, but if you have more in your family, you might need more of these, and you're going to need some water in here as well, of course, but this comes with your seasoning, your pasta, and anything you may need, but you can eat it just like that. I like to add things to mine, so I'm going to add some roasted organic chicken breasts. I'm going to add some cannellini beans, some black beans, and then you can also add a chili packet, like one of these. This is a brown gravy mix, but like a chili spice packet if you want. But honestly, there's a lot of spice and sodium in this, so I don't add that to it, but you totally can mix that all together and it becomes a delicious soup. You can serve this with tortilla chips if you want, with tortillas themselves, or you could just serve them alone. I've served them over baked potatoes, over baked sweet potatoes before, and it's really good. It just has like a different, unique taste with the pasta, but you could even add a sweet potato in here if you store them properly. They are really easy to store in my short-term storage, like up to 2 years. So if you're thinking of it in that sense, you could totally add onion to this or sweet potato. But if you're thinking of it from a grab and go sense, this might be just where you want to go with this. The next meal is my take on a chicken orzo soup, and I will add that sometimes I like to add lemon juice to this to make it a lemon chicken herby soup. So if you have some seasoning, put that in there too. But you're going to need a box of orzo, some Lipton onion soup mix. You're going to need a jar of sliced carrots, some cannellini beans, and some chicken breasts. And that goes all in a pot with some extra water, and you have some lemon chicken orzo soup. Very delicious. Again, very high on sodium, so make sure you are drinking a ton of water, but this one is very good. You could put potatoes with this, or maybe like a can of diced tomatoes or something like that, but it really brings out a lot of flavor when you add that onion combined with the lemon juice. You could even find lemon juice packets at restaurants, fast food restaurants, and put that in with this, and that could be shelf stable if you wanted to as well. I haven't really touched on that, like condiments and things of that nature. Pick up some extras when you go for your fast food, and you should be good to go in your prepper pantry. I would stick to mayo-based sauces, but it's up to you. This next one we just had the other night. I will insert a photo right here, but it is like a taco tortellini. So what I do is find the shelf-stable tortellini with 3 cheese, and I mix it with half of this taco seasoning packet because of sodium. You're probably going to hear that a lot today, huh? And then I put some chili beans with it. You could add a can of chicken to this if you wanted to, but honestly, there's a ton of flavors here. I've also done this with tri beans, so that's like the pinto, the black, and the kidney beans, and that was what that recipe in the photo was made with. But organic chili beans in general are really tasty. And then I do a can of diced tomatoes, some water, and we cook this on cast iron over the fire with a little bit of cheese sprinkled on top of it, and it is delicious. It's just a unique take on tortellini because I don't really see it in taco form ever. So it has these really interesting flavors, but it does have that 3 cheese from inside the tortellini. So very delicious. Highly recommend. This might be my second favorite in this lineup. Okay, here's my first favorite of this lineup. It's going to be a curried ramen casserole. It's not going to be too soupy, but what you're going to need is some chickpeas, and I would even go as far as to do 2 cans of chickpeas just because I enjoy them, but you could do a can of chicken with this, again, a can of fish. You could do really whatever you want here. And then you're going to need a can of coconut milk. It doesn't matter if it's full fat, light, anything. Honestly, I just get the organic coconut milk from Whole Foods. It's my favorite. And then you're gonna need some ramen packets. So I love the Millet and Brown Lotus Foods rice ramens. And it comes with like a miso soup flavoring to it. And you can add that to this if you wanted to. I would recommend just adding one packet, but you do you, or you could just use your typical ramen that you find at the grocery store. It's much cheaper, but I just have this on the shelf and I really enjoy this brand. So you could do that if you wanted to. And then I add a packet of curry powder, and I find this in my Hispanic food aisle at Walmart. If you can't find an individual packet like this, just go ahead and add some of your own. But this is delicious. It's not too spicy. You could totally add vegetables to this if you wanted to. I haven't really pointed that out. We don't do a lot of canned vegetables, so you might not see a ton of that in these bags, in these meal in a bags, but you could add whatever you want to these. This is my favorite, hands down. I eat this maybe once every 2 weeks or so, but I enjoy the ramen with the curry. You of course could do rice with this, quinoa, anything, but it's very, very good. So I highly recommend you try this one. Alrighty, this next one is probably my husband's favorite because I make it in a variety of ways. He is a fan of the mixed pastas. If you're new here, I hate mixing pastas together. I have no idea why. I know they're the same ingredients. It's just the shapes for me. I don't know. But anyways, you want to do one packet of the La Moderna. So this is going to be 7 ounces. These are at Walmart for 33 cents or something like that. You're going to need pastaroni, 4 cheese blend. I'm sure there's Knorr sides that you could do, or a store brand that you could do, but the pastaroni 4 cheese is like a macaroni and cheese. You're going to need about half of the bottle of this barbecue sauce. So this is something that you would either waste or use in a different recipe, or maybe you have a large family and you could double all this and then you would be fine with just one big thing of Sweet Baby Ray's. But this is essentially a barbecue mac and cheese. So you're going to need a big thing of the premium white chicken. This is 10 ounces and I get these at Target. And you're just going to mix this together and bake it. It's very, very simple. My husband loves when I do hot sauce with his, so I always do hot sauce with his. It's just too spicy for myself and the kids. So this one is super yummy. This one I would suggest adding maybe like a canned vegetable to the side with, but I really wouldn't mix it. I've even added white beans to this and that tastes good as well, and it just stretches it a little farther. But this one is definitely up there on the list of my husband's favorite meals. And last but not least, we are doing a beef stew with macaroni. My family and I are not huge fans of the canned beefs, but you could add one of these to this if you wanted to. We're going to use Great Northern beans instead. So we have a can of diced potatoes. We have a seasoning mix of the beef stew. We have Great Northern beans. We have green beans, and we have a whole thing, 7 ounces of elbow macaroni. But again, you could use rice with this, couscous, quinoa, barley. I've even used wheat berries before. You can actually eat wheat berries. You don't have to turn it into flour, but they're, it works. So this beef stew mix gives it that like beef stew flavor, in my opinion. You could even add a can of carrots to this and some dried rosemary, but this one is easy and it's comforting. So I feel like this one is one of the more filling ones. So if you wanted to do maybe something different than macaroni, definitely don't have to add this, but you can if you want to. So I hope you enjoyed these meals. I am inspired. I really am. I feel like we are prepared for this baby, but prepared for emergencies as well. So I hope you found this interesting. Let me know your favorite down in the comments. Alrighty, my friends, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed these easy recipes, these easy meal in a bags. I hope this was motivating just to get some of your prepper pantry items established and ready to grab and go whenever you may need. If you are new here, we'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, it would mean a lot if you gave this video a big thumbs up, and I will catch you on the next one. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. Bye, y'all.